You've arrived at the Texas to Tennessee podcast, your home for your favorite independent artists, and a couple of guys you've never heard of.
Who?
It was Texas, it was Tennessee. It was what I had coming to me. You were unlike anything.
Howdy, folks. You have arrived at the Texas to Tennessee podcast. Welcome in. Hope you're avoiding the storms tonight. If you hear extra loud rain, that's soul gravy. It's already passed here. How are you today, sir?
I'm doing good. I don't know why we're not in all the big boxes. I'll figure that out in a second, but I'm doing good.
No worries. Well, experiment tonight, folks. We are live on TikTok, YouTube, and Facebook. Feel free to join in the chat. Our intern will do their best to
there it goes. All right.
Circle up all the questions for you. If you have one, feel free to type it in. We'll do our best, but we appreciate you joining us. Hope everybody's doing well. Tonight, very excited to have our friend Hayden Redwine on the podcast. Welcome in, sir. How are you?
Good. How are y'all doing?
Doing good. Good. Excited to ask you a few questions and get to know you just a little bit better. I get lucky every once in a while and actually have the opportunity to see or meet some folks prior to having them on the podcast. And I was lucky enough to get to see you out at Hotel Turkey, and man, unbelievable. Just incredibly talented, and super excited that I finally got to see you. So.
Oh man, thank you so much.
You bet, man. All right. Well,
it doesn't happen for me as much being way over here, but you know.
You get to live vicariously.
You're out there, man.
But I did the episode that I actually post I think maybe at midnight tonight, is a fellow named Dallas Dorsey, which is one of the very few that I actually met in person because of
nice.
Adam Hood.
Oh, wow.
He's been mentioned twice already.
Big long.
And yeah, so he was. Yeah, it does make a big difference to actually be able to have met them in person and talked a little bit before being on the podcast. So that's one of my few.
Yeah, it's super cool. Well, we're working on that. We're trying to get more folks out to Memphis, so we'll see how that goes. Hayden, we're going to have you take a couple minutes, if you don't mind, and just give us a little bit of your backstory. Anything that you would like to share, we would like to hear.
Okay. I grew up in a little town called Colorado City, Texas, which is about the halfway point between Midland and Abilene. It's a rural community, and I grew up involved in agriculture, ranching, rodeo, and graduated from here. And I went off to college on a rodeo scholarship and moved back home after worked here for a little bit. Decided to take a job working under my brother in the oil field. And about 5 or 6 years ago, I decided to roll the dice on trying to play music, and that's what I do for a living now.
Great. We're the oil field misses you, I'm sure, but we're glad that you're doing this full time. So appreciate that.
Yeah.
All right. So Hayden gave us a clue. Colorado City is the town in question, Soul Gravy. I hope you have studied up, but then that wouldn't be that much fun if you did. So
No.
These are famous folks from Colorado City.
If you happen
I'll tell you a little bit.
If you happen to know any of these folks, Hayden, feel free to chime in.
Oh, yeah.
There's no telling.
Hey, I'm sure
If they're
Soul
still
Gravy-
alive.
I'm sure Soul Gravy would appreciate the assistance tonight. So you gave us a good geographic description. About halfway between Abilene and Midland, as of the 2020 census, has a population of just under 4,000 people. So good luck,
Okay.
Soul Gravy.
All right.
Yeah.
Here we go.
All right.
First gentleman's name is Dick Compton.
I mean, that's a pretty tough name, but I don't think I know who that is.
Yep. He played in the NFL, played for the Lions, the Oilers, and Steelers, and he is a Colorado High School graduate. So shout out to Dick.
Mm-hmm.
All right, 0 for 1. It's
Yeah.
okay. All right, next up, Martin Dies Jr. Probably glad I didn't ask Martin Dies Sr., but
I'm
Junior
not familiar.
is a U.S. congressman Was born in Colorado City. So, all right, third up.
He is currently a congressman?
I believe so.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. All right.
It wouldn't have mattered. I still wouldn't have known, but still, I just want to know.
That's all right.
Yeah, I didn't know that one either.
Well, I don't think he's currently living there, and I don't think he's actually the congressman from your area, but he was born there.
Yeah.
So he gets credit.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
You got a chance, Soul Gravy, on this one.
Mm-hmm.
Don Maynard.
Yeah, that name actually does sound familiar, but I don't know why. I know I would think some kind of, I don't know. I'm not sure.
Feel free to take a guess.
No, I don't want to. I don't want to take a guess. I would think some kind of sports ball, but I don't remember.
He's definitely Pro Football Hall of Fame member. So shout out to Don Maynard. Maybe the most famous person that I could find from Colorado
Probably
City.
so.
Yep.
Probably
all right.
so.
I was trying to remember.
0 for 3, Soul Gravy. Not a great
as
showing so far. What's
year-wise, like
probably
around
like the 50s and 60s, I'm guessing.
Gotcha.
50s and 60s, yeah, for Don Maynard.
Yeah, I just missed all that.
Yep. Soul Gravy wasn't even gravy at that point. All right.
That was when the world was still in black and white, right?
Probably.
Yeah.
That's what one of my boys asked me that.
Same here.
Story, but,
Mine
okay.
too.
All right. George H. Mahon.
No.
All right. So I don't think George is with us anymore. He was raised in Mitchell County and is honored with the statue in front of the courthouse. So shout out to George.
Gotcha.
And last but not least, Margaret Formby, Formby.
I'm glad you spelled it, but I still don't know.
Here to help.
Could you use that in a sentence, please?
No, absolutely not. Margaret is the founder of the National Cowgirl Hall of Fame. Okay. If you haven't ever visited, it's in Fort Worth, and y'all should because it's awesome. But she founded it, so shout out to Margaret.
Mm-hmm.
That is officially 0 for 5, Soul Gravy. I'm sorry it didn't go well for you tonight, but I had a feeling it was going to be tough.
Well, you lose some and you lose more. So
yeah,
that's
right.
More.
That's what I'm here for.
Who's up tomorrow? Do we know?
Yes, but I gotta look. I just looked earlier. Yes, I did. Eli Howard.
Okay.
Married or good.
Yep. I want to say, is it Oregon or Washington? Well,
I know it is. I know it's
Northwest for sure.
Pacific Northwest. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Well, study up for tomorrow on all your Pacific Northwest towns.
Might be our first one though. I think it is.
Yeah, I think so. We had John Cannon on? Okay. He's also from up in that general vicinity. So, all right, Hayden, thank you for letting us butcher that, and appreciate it. I feel like I know a little bit more about your hometown now.
Yeah. Like I said, Don Maynard is I think the big one, and the other ones, I don't know. That's why I said if they were still alive or not.
Chat wanted to know if he was related to Maynard James Keenan from
Keenan
Tool.
From Tool.
Yeah.
From Tool. No, that guy's crazy. He's cool.
Great nephew.
Yeah. Gotcha.
All right. We're gonna get into the serious music questions because that's all we do here.
All right.
Hayden, this question is arguably the strangest question that we will ask tonight. There is an odd question at the end of the night, but this one's probably a little more odd. It's called the pie question, and it's a musical pie. We're going to give you that musical pie and ask you to divide it into 4 sections. So the 4 sections are songwriting, recording, performance, and then the 4th piece of the pie is everything that you signed up to be a artist or musician, doing social media, having to do podcasts, changing tires on vans, that segment, dealing with managers and
Right.
booking and all those pieces, all those things that kind of somehow don't feel super related to the music sometimes. So that's the fourth piece.
Mhm.
But my question to you is, which one of those four pieces of the pie, I guess, feel most like home for you?
Definitely the songwriting, man. That's certainly it. And I think that's kind of where it all started for me anyways, because I would have never, when I first started writing songs or trying to make a go at playing music, the thought of, all the other things seemed kind of unfathomable to me at the time. I knew there was potential there, but I just really didn't know where to necessarily go with it. So the songs were always a place where I felt like I was comfortable at.
Was so it sounds like you knew pretty early on that songwriting was your thing. How did you get into, like, hey, all right, I'm going to sit down and start trying to write songs? Was it picking on the guitar? Was it, hey, I've got these thoughts I need to get out? Did you have a specific kind of way of getting there?
Yeah, so I've always playing guitar when I was 10 or 11. I remember begging my parents for a little bit, and it was one of those things where they just put it off because they don't think you're serious about it. And I finally got my dad to crack, and he got me a little rip-off Strat out of a wholesale magazine, and I learned to play guitar listening to. We had one TV in the house, and so when I would get the TV, I'd record this show called Metal Mania on VH1, and it played all 80s, rock videos. And that's how I learned how to play the guitar, was sitting there, pausing the TV screen and looking at their fingers and just trying to figure it out. And, music was, I didn't know that I could really even sing until 2020. And I didn't write a song until late 2020. So I didn't know how to really structure one. And when during the pandemic, I was playing on my buddies' porches and stuff. We were just hanging out and drinking beer. And, your buddies will fill you full of shit. They'll tell you that you're good at something, and they're just saying it and fucking lying. But I had one of them that convinced me to go to this open mic in Big Spring at this place called the Desert Flower. I finally mustered up the courage to go over there and do it. And they had an open mic night, but they also had a songwriter night. And the songwriter night seemed more something that I wanted to do, but I still didn't have I didn't have a song yet. And I sat down and wrote a couple, and they're not great. A lot of them aren't ever great when you're starting. And I was racking my brain, and something that I'd always picked up from my dad early on was journaling, like writing, your thoughts. And I had years of, I wasn't every day with it, but I had some thoughts over the years that I had scribbled down and put into paper. And I wrote my first, I guess, real song that I was proud of with, things that I'd written down over the years. And it wasn't until my dad passed away in early 21 that I finally found like a muse to really kickstart the writing process. And then that's how it all came to be.
Yeah, wow. It's I'm always fascinated, Soul Gravy. I almost slipped there. I'm always fascinated by how
You almost called me Batman, didn't you?
I did.
Damn it. All right.
Yes, sir.
Oh shit.
I'm fascinated by how the pandemic affected everybody.
Me too.
Like some in super positive ways, and some, we've talked to a ton of folks that felt like they kind of had the ball rolling. Things were going in the right direction, and then everything came, immediately to us, or for the most part, to a stop. So,
but we've talked to a bunch of people that's where it started for them.
Yep.
Is during that time for one reason or another. It's strange. Either they were home, and that was their outlet, was to start to play, which led to gigs and whatever. So
yep,
all
super
kinds of
interesting.
stuff.
Hayden, in terms of songwriting process, are you kind of a solo, write by yourself kind of deal, or do you dabble into co-writing? Mostly on your own?
Yeah, mostly on my own. I'd written a couple songs with my brother. early, and he's the one that works in the oil field and stuff, but he's a very, very good writer in his own right. And we had written a couple songs together, and as far as that goes, it was just him. And then here recently, I just started writing with a couple of my friends for a side project that we're doing, and that's kind of really opened a lot of new avenues for me, and it's kind of pushed me outside of my comfort zone I normally would write in, or the places that I'd normally go to. So it's been a really fun experience so far. I know a lot of people. There's some people that don't like doing the co-writing thing, and it was something I was a little bit skeptical of in any way, but it was just unfamiliar to me. So being able to do it with two of my friends, it's just been a whole lot of fun, honestly.
Well, you picked two great ones to do it with. So you opened the door, so I'm going to talk about it a little bit here. You have a project with Ross Cooper and Zach McGinn. If y'all are familiar with Dolly Shine, you might know Zach. Ross, you might know from episode number 94 on the Texas to Tennessee podcast. We had a blast with Ross. But this is a relatively new thing, I think. Can you tell us a little bit about that project?
Yeah. So, we've been friends for a minute, all of us. And I was kicking the idea around to Zach about a year ago. And it was always one of those things when you're excited about something, or you're drunk and talking and you have all these great ideas, and a lot of them don't really ever come to fruition. They kind of just get danced around. And I brought it up a couple times, and then I told Zach, I was like, I think me and Ross, it would be really cool if we were able to put something together, because it's all fitting. We've all rodeoed and all kind of lived the same kind of lifestyle, being from out here in West Texas, and it's a familiar thing, and I thought it'd be a whole lot of fun. So we decided to, make a crack at it. I think the toughest thing was coming up with the name. I think the songs were getting written before the name was even a surefire thing.
Probably good idea.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you'd hate to have a name and then nothing came of it, right?
Yeah, man. That was the tough one. We were getting all sorts of crazy shit. Ross's wife said tres leches. That was one of the first recommendations, and we had a lot of funny ones, but we stuck on I think Ross came up with it, called the Moon Howlers, and that seemed to be the one that just finally stuck after weeks and weeks of trying to figure something out that wasn't already taken, or didn't sound stupid.
Yeah, no, I dig it. Tell us what kind of things can we expect, or is there anything that you can share about it that might be able to be worth talking about?
Yeah, this is in the concepts of the songs. Like the co-writing process was really cool, because it was something I've never really been a part of, other than just with my brother. And my brother and I, we lived the same life, and we could draw from the same experiences, and it wasn't necessarily always a good place that we drew from. And so being with Zach and Ross, it's just like getting together and bullshitting with your friends and making a song, like telling rewrite stories or something funny that happened or something that we've been through. And it's a lot more light and lighthearted and fun, and very, very cowboy themed. And it's been a blast for me, and I'm really excited about it.
Well, we are as well. So thanks for sharing that. That kind of got me off track on my pie question, but
oh, my bad.
No, you're good. You're good. We were going to talk about that for sure. I had that on my list of questions to ask. So, all right, Soul Gravy, he's all yours.
You were talking about having the name before the songs or whatever. That's actually what happened with the Soul Gravy thing, to be honest. Me and a couple buddies were just piecing together a bar band and a little cover band, and I had the name and all the socials and everything before we ever even got a gig, and then the gigs never happened. So then coincidentally, the COVID stuff happened, and I started playing music on TikTok, and here we are. Meeting people that like the same shit, and eventually met a lot of friends that way. So I'm glad I did. Um,
That's all.
it's going back to the rodeo days.
Mm.
Is, did you find after you started the music side of things, did you find very many similarities in those two worlds? The music,
Oh,
the
it's
music and
almost
touring
the
world.
same. It's
Is it?
almost Yeah, it's almost exact the lifestyle. I think that's why it was so easy for me to adapt, when it came to actually taking the songs on the road and playing them, and uh just being able to live on the road and live small. It's the same way with rodeoing, and you're traveling town to town, you might not get to shower, or, you've got it's different though traveling, I will say, with musicians and then traveling with your buddies that you rodeo with. I think that's about the only difference in just how the demeanor is on, but uh everything else, it's almost exactly the same.
Hmm. And something else that a few people we've had several people on that rodeoed at one point or another, and included Jared. And I think the thing that everybody that's outside of that world thinks is you're listening to George Strait or something as soon as you go to do your thing, and it's usually not the case,
Right.
right? So what music
Oh no.
what music were you playing before you were about to do your
Oh
thing?
man. There's no telling. It's depending on who had the aux cord at the time.
Okay.
Which we do all George Strait. Everybody loves George Strait. I still listen to him a lot, but we listen to a lot of 80s rock, 90s, grunge, alternative, and then there's rap in there, and it was all over the place, man. But there was very seldom, like old George Jones just blaring when you're rolling up to the arena, or anything like that. Not in our car, at least.
I understand you're trying to get somewhat hyped up for what you're about to do, right?
Yeah.
Not, yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah. You got to do the George Jones later.
George Jones is, yeah, later when you're all pissed and sad and drunk.
Exactly.
Yeah, it
Exactly.
all serves its purpose. It's all there. It's all there for the right reasons.
Um, well, some of the chat wanted to hear, and this may be a loaded question, but a funny road story, either on the rodeo side or on the music side of things. Is there one that at
Oh
least rated
gosh.
R?
There, yeah, there's lots of rated R ones. That's what I was trying to think of, one that was more appropriate. I had a buddy. I guess this one would be. I had a buddy that was getting busy with a gal, and they were standing in an ant bed in a parking lot one time. That was pretty funny. Um,
Put it in where you can.
man, I could go on and on. There's been lots of fun stories. Had a friend flood the bathroom, falling asleep in the bathtub, and flood the hotel or part of the floor and stuff like that. I woke up and my room was real muggy, and I was wondering why. And he had his own room. That was the funniest part. He had his own room, but he decided to go. Which I'd already fell asleep, but he decided to take it upon himself to use my bathtub to pass out in instead. And uh, man, he looked like a hermit crab out of his shell, dude. He was just red and wrinkled up. And yeah, there's so many, man. I could go on all night, but
I would imagine so, combining those two worlds. Go ahead.
Yeah, well,
oh man, yeah.
I think that's a second hotel room story that got overly wet that we've had. The
Uh-oh.
Lance Rourke have one.
Yeah,
I think
I
Gravy.
think
man, it
I think
happens a
so.
lot. It happens a lot more than you'd think.
Water's
Rodeo
wet.
and music. Yeah, I watched it happen in Vegas last year with a friend's band. His drummer did it to one of the hotels there. So it happens a lot.
Well, I guess and that we'll bring it back down to PG. But do you remember when you were you were talking about earlier how your buddies and your family would they'll tell you what you want to hear or what they think you want to hear with your songs. But
Mhm.
do you remember a time or a specific moment or whatever where you someone was listening to what you were doing that wasn't somebody you didn't know?
I do. The first time that I had ever heard somebody um, just sitting in a corner, it was at Desert Flower there in Big Spring. I eventually, fast forward a little bit after I'd written some songs, I eventually was asked to host the songwriter night over there, and so I'd do that every Tuesday. And there was a guy, I didn't know him from Adam, and kind of had tattoos all the way up his neck, and kind of had a little bit of the gangster attire going on, but he was sitting in this little corner chair by the door of the Desert Flower, and I preface some of my sadder songs when I just want to give a backstory and I've got time, and so I was talking about it, and it was one that I'd written had to do with my dad after he passed away, and I played the song, and the guy sat there. Wasn't very many people there, so the guy sat down and he had his arms down on his knees and his head down, just kind of ducked the whole time. And um, after the song was over, he gets up and he puts some money in the tip jar, and he asked me if I'd play that song again. And I told him I'd play one more, and then I'd play it again for him, and I did. And he just sat there soaking up every word. And after it was over, I talked with him a little bit. He had actually gone through something, but he had lost his fiance, and he was able to draw from that song about my dad, and put it into perspective for him, and that's something that I'll never forget. This is coming from I wouldn't think would even bat an eye at somebody like me playing the guitar, or even listen to my music at all, just looking at him outwardly.
Yeah, that's I don't know. I recently started kind of asking that question, but I really like, as far as those moments like that, I imagine a lot of people have them because there's so many times where people aren't listening. and,
Sure,
and then when you
God,
do
yeah,
really have
there
those
are.
connections with people that, I imagine that those moments in time probably lock in for a long time.
It does, man. You remember it for sure. Yeah, getting people to listen is I think that's how you really build up, what you can do on stage. If you're playing one of those really shitty hour restaurant gigs for nothing, or bar, whatever, and you've got 10 people in there and 8 of them got their backs turned to you, you've got to figure out a way to get their attention a little bit. I think that's really one of those places that you learn how to do that.
Yeah, yelling at them usually isn't great.
Yeah.
It's not usually
Yeah.
kind of frowned upon. Darn.
You sing the ABCs, and some of them won't even, realize it. It doesn't matter. They're just not there.
Well, on the flip side of that, I feel like this is a
Yep.
open door. You, Hayden, you mentioned in the pre-chat, we talked a little bit about your trip to the Netherlands and where everybody's listening. Can you fill us in a little bit on that trip to the Netherlands?
Yeah. So they reached out to me, I think on Instagram initially, and then somehow they'd gotten my email, and I thought, reading it, I thought it was a scam, because there's a bunch of those gone. I didn't really think twice about it, and then I got a follow-up email from them, and I realized that it was legitimate, and they sent me the bill, and I saw a few people I had known and acquaintances and friends that I had made that were on that bill. Like James McMurtry was on it, and Jesse Daniel, and so I was like, okay, this is something. So which I didn't even know that I had any kind of listening demographic that far over the pond, and but apparently it was requested, so that really was cool. And we went over there and got there a couple days early to just kind of take it in, because I'd never been across the pond. All I've ever been was just south of the border, really, and that was all. So getting to see that and explore Amsterdam, or Groningen, which is a smaller town. Like I said, everybody thinks Amsterdam, and this was a smaller town southwest of there, but Man, it was really cool, and we got there and immediately started drinking. We hadn't slept because our morning time, and we are going into a place to go try to find something to eat, and then my buddy realized that we could order alcohol in the morning, so we just decided to tie one off the first day, and we didn't go to bed at all. We had a
Well,
good time, and go ahead.
oh no, I was just gonna say. To be fair, it's still late in the States when you guys started drinking. So
That's right, man. So we gave ourselves a couple days early to get there and kind of do it, get our hell raising out of the way, which that doesn't mean anything day of show, and my friends are with me, and so we took days of just exploring, and when we got to the venue there, I played this place below. They had music going the whole time. So, they make everybody leave the room. There was 3 or 4 stages. And each time an act was done, they'd bring everybody out of the room, and then they'd have to come back to see you if they wanted to see the next act. So I'm coming out of like little dressing room they had, and I'm walking, and there's just this line that's just stacked all the way around, damn near to some stairs that are going back up. And like, they're here to watch you, and that was pretty cool. And got up there to play the show, and then I look around, and there's these Dutch people singing my songs back to me, and
yeah,
that was the most time I've seen collectively as a group that many people singing the words back to me from my songs, and they weren't even American people.
right. That's amazing.
So it was really, really cool. And that place was silent, and it was all the way from the front to the back of that place. You could just hear the air conditioner while you were playing. No one made a sound. No one they were all eyes fixed on you the entire time.
Yeah, there's a couple places in the States that I wish our Dutch friends could pass on their good manners to.
Oh, college towns would be a good start for a lot of those.
Well, it's time. It's halftime.
Yay.
There, Talbot.
All right. Shout out to halftime.
Mm-hmm.
During the hockey season, it's we're, I don't know, between the second and third period.
That's right. All right. Yeah, Hayden, you want to give us a little rundown on the quiet?
Yeah, so this song, back in February last year, my sister, her son, he passed away February the 3rd, and that was a really, really tough loss for my family. And a couple days after he'd passed away, I had gone out to go where we were going to bury him and mark his grave. He's buried with my dad at the ranch cemetery where I live. And after I got done marking the grave, I just went back and sat in my truck, and the words for this song just kind of poured out of me. And it was written really, really quick, and it was one where I just, I'm not a parent, I don't have children, and I couldn't imagine what it'd be like to lose a child. So I was writing with my sister and her husband in mind, and this is their first baby too, and it was just a really tough thing. And fast forward to the summer, I'm up in Montana and Colorado and stuff, working around to get to the first Dusty Vaquero Days festival, and finished that up, and I came back to Texas and then just went back and stayed in Wyoming. And I'd gotten news about the floods of Central Texas and Kerrville, and that was the most helpless feeling in the world, reading the updates for that, and something that just seemed unfathomable to me. And I was playing that song out my times and revisiting that song after I'd got the news of what happened just gave it a whole new weight to me. And so before I left for the first run north, I did a live version of that song with Southbound Sessions on YouTube, and I was talking with Noel and some of those boys from Southbound, and I wanted to do something for the flood relief, and I just couldn't figure out a way to do it. And we decided to pull the audio from that live version of The Quiet, and we put it out on streaming and have it set to where all the proceeds for the song go to the Kerr County Flood Relief. So, and recently, you know, I play it every chance I get. I talk about it every chance I get, because while I was on tour in January and February, I was opening shows for Culture Wall, and so I had a larger audience to talk about that with. And not long ago, I guess about a month ago, I got this thing on my email, and then this certificate in the mail where somebody had donated to Kerr County Flood Relief in honor of my name and The Quiet. It was an anonymous donor, but it was a very large amount that was donated to the Kerr County Relief. And so it's one of those things where I'm just grateful that I'm able to have any kind of platform to talk about it if it can do things like that. And it's something I'll always keep doing.
That's incredibly special. So, folks, we're going to give it a listen. We're going to ask Hayden to hit the little button on the microphone button, and I will do the same. So, Gravy, you can get a good cut of it.
All right. Yep. Here we go.
Never thought I would end up here and go face to face with what I fear. The clock keeps ticking slow and true, but time don't mean a thing to you. If love is a river, you were the rain. Falling down on hearts, it won't be the same. And there's so much I just can't explain, and it hurts so bad to hear your name. Some songs are sung, some don't begin. Some doors swing open and close again. Yeah, the water's deep and the current's strong, but love don't drown, it just rolls on. I'll bury the dreams that I once planned, ripped away from my hands. There ain't no ends to what I do, just to sing Mr. Golden Sun to you. Some roads are straight, some roads bend. Some will break your heart and never end. There ain't no reason, ain't no rhyme, for yesterday's burned in my mind. No preacher's words, no poet's lines fill the space you left behind. But if your life's a thread that won't unweave, then maybe you aren't so far from me. Yeah, the water's deep and the current's strong. Love don't drown, it just rolls on. Yeah, love don't drown, it just rolls on.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's lovely. So if somebody wanted to, Hayden, if somebody wanted to make a donation to the flood relief, is that something that we could get for you and put in the chat?
Yes, sir. Yeah. The link is, I believe, just Kerr County Flood Relief. It's the first, when you pull it up on Google,
Perfect.
that it gives all the list for where donations be made, whether it be that or there's other places like Camp Mystic and things like that. And man, and it's one of those things I try not to. I don't want people to forget about, because I played the other night at Devil's Backbone in Fisher, and there was a man that came up to me that's on one of the cleanup crews out there that are still recovering people and things. It's not slowed down. It's just talked about as much, so
Yeah.
there's still a very, very real thing.
Well, thank you for doing that. We need more of that stuff in the world. So
Yes, sir. Thanks.
It's
Great song.
definitely easy, or unless you're in it or right there around it, it's definitely, when the news cycle goes so fast that the world can forget about and
Sure.
be left behind from
Yeah.
everything from floods out this direction, in the Carolinas and things. What was it, a couple years ago, and then
Right. Carolina floods were horrible, man.
right, all
Our
those
attention
things.
spans are all too short these days. It's there and then it's not, and then it's on to the next thing. It seems like.
Yeah. And most of it, usually whatever it moves on to is not near as important as what is the thing.
Not
that they
even
just left
remote. Not even remote. Yeah.
As far as the song, that was the first time I'd gotten to listen to it, because Steve sent me a different song.
No, that's okay.
Sorry.
But
Sorry.
that's all right. That's all right. But the line that stuck out originally, or immediately, was "Bury the dreams that I had planned." That's some tough shit right there.
Yeah, man. It's very real, man. And seeing it, I know people that have lost children that weren't, directly in my family and stuff. I've seen what it's done to them, but witnessing it firsthand is a totally different thing. And it's just I'd assume what hell on earth would feel like. So yeah, it's hard to convey that and put those things into words, because it's not enough to describe how bad it really hurts, I'm sure.
Definitely. It's a very well written song too, though, man. That's
Thank
really
you.
good. If I was in a bar, I would have shut up and turned around and listened.
Yeah. Man, yeah. Yeah, and then there's always that asshole that'll just yell at you to play Tennessee whiskey in the middle of that anyway. They don't give a shit,
No, you're right. So I have to point out, like, everybody on the TikTok and the YouTube and everything brought up the Bingham tone sound.
Oh yeah.
And is that something that you realized pretty quick, or was that on was he on your radar at all when you were first kind of finding your sound, or?
Oh yeah. Yeah, everybody knew who Ryan was, but it didn't dawn on me that I'd sounded a lot like him until people started coming up and telling me about that. Because I hadn't really played out, and I didn't draw the comparison, but it didn't take very long after playing out. And Ryan's great, and he's talented and a good guy. So no, I get that pretty often.
I figured
Only
you
other
did.
person I've ever got is the people that come up and tell me, you know who you sound like, and I'm usually expecting that. And then the other night somebody said BJ Barham, or reminded me of BJ Barham. I was reading your shirt.
Okay.
And that was the first for me, because that's never happened. That's usually not what comes out of their mouth.
On his slower songs.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there are worse comparisons, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got Rod Stewart too. I've got Rod Stewart before. I like Rod Stewart. He's great.
Yeah. Well, I'm not a super judgy person. I don't know. Some people might say otherwise, but I'm not. But I do have a tendency to, when I don't know somebody, kind of look at who their friends are. And with just minimal effort on my part, you've got Cody Braun, you've got our buddy Jake Zilke, episode number 144. For those of y'all that haven't watched that, go find The Lost Cowboy, Dusty Vaquero. Obviously, Ross and Zach. I mean, Coulter. You've got some pretty cool friends, man.
Yeah, that's a good thing, man. I think they all tolerate me, so they're good buds, though, man. I'm grateful for them.
Yeah, well, I know you mentioned playing the Dusty Vaquero Festival for the inaugural year, and then you're heading back up there this year, correct?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like one that I want to get to. I don't know about you, Gravy, but
it sounds like it's
which was a little
beautiful
closer
up there.
I'm also spoiled.
Yeah,
but
Gillette's kind of off there, just tucked off in the corner of Wyoming. It's not really close to anything. You'd be better off going to like Rapid City or something, the closest fun town.
Yep. Well, we've been following along from afar with Dusty's festival, and excited to see the lineup this year. And then I know you said you're also going out west with Cody. Anything you can tell us about that trip?
Yeah. This was just kind of a sporadic go. Cody and I did this last year, going up to Dusty Vaquero Days. We played a few shows, and we left a little early just to get out of the heat. And he and I have been friends for a long time. He was actually the first band that Reckless Kelly was the first band that let me come open shows for him. Let me come on their bus and just open the shows for him on a Midwest run. And Cody and I became really fast friends. We actually met on a movie set. We were both in this Western movie, and we had mutual friends, and said we just became real quick friends. And when I'm in town, he's always done a good job of taking care of me, and he's been a really big mentor to me as far as music goes in general. He's got he's a veteran, and I've learned a lot from him, not just on the music side, but industry, touring, and all of that stuff.
Yeah, he's a wealth of knowledge. Well, see, this begs the question, since you brought up the movie. I did not know this. Can you share that movie so we can all go see your debut?
Man, it was just a little movie. It's called Le Grand, and I had a friend of mine that had talked to us about it. He had a role as the bad guy in this movie. The movie was written kind of in an obscure way. They didn't really have a script, and they were kind of just going as they went. And this by a guy named Ben Christensen, who's a great photographer and really, really good guy. And he had a friend of ours that was going to be in this movie as the bad guy, and he had pitched it to me and a couple of my other buddies about coming up there and what they call in the movie business wrangling, where you just take care of the livestock and maybe doing some stunts. And then we get up there and we realized that we were going to be in the movie, and none of us have ever acted before. We wouldn't know what to do if a camera had gotten on us, and we kind of got a crash course going into it, and we were all in the bad guy gang, and they called Cody to come up there to reprise his role. He was actually in a Western movie called Conager when he was 12 years old, 13 years old, and they called Cody up there to reprise his role from that movie. And there's a lot of cool little Easter egg, but it was a short film, and it took a couple years to get it out, but I think it's on YouTube now. But it's called Le Grand. I wear a stupid ass looking top hat. Yeah.
So we'll
and the bad guys went around flooding bathtubs and local towns.
Did that give you the bug of wanting to try to do it again?
I don't think so. I don't really think I did anything much after that. It's fun, and I made the memories from it and stuff like that. We had a really good time, but I don't know if I really have a knack for acting. I don't know if I'd try it again or not. It'd have to be something, it's being offered stuff like that, it'd probably be the typical Western thing. But I think it'd be more fun to branch out and do something that I'm not familiar with. If it was acting, something totally outside of my realm.
I feel like if you get asked again, it might be, I mean, putting a manager hat on, but might be a good idea to negotiate one of your songs in.
That would be a good bargaining point for sure, I think.
That'd be cool.
I was going to tell you this story earlier, but the timing wasn't right. I don't even know if you know this, Talbot, but he mentioned the BJ Barham shirt. So I'm on this shirt.
Oh, yeah. Here, let me move
shit.
I don't know if you can see it, but my son's there, my daughter's there, and I'm right there, and our guitar player's in there too.
What shirt are you wearing, baby?
Damn.
What shirt am I wearing
on the shirt?
Yes.
I have no idea. I guarantee it's a black shirt, though. I don't know what I'm wearing on the shirt.
Like, folks,
that would
you
be
can
funny. But
submit your answers there. Soul Gravy is going to be giving out a prize if you can guess what shirt he's wearing on BJ.
It probably was an American Aquarium. We can take that one out of the equation.
Yeah, definitely.
It could have been Isbel, because we interviewed BJ that day. I know him and Jason are buddies, so I do shit like that too. So you never know.
So the answer is you have to go watch episode number whatever that is,
and you'll know what shirt I'm wearing.
Yep, absolutely.
That's right.
All right,
and also very smart of BJ to put us on shirts, and then we all had to buy them later.
It's one way to do it.
Exactly.
Smart move, man.
I know nobody ever said he was a dumb businessman. He's pretty smart. So.
Yeah, no, somebody genius.
Well, I think we're at the point where we're going to do a little rapid fire, and then we're going to send you off with one very important question. Thanks again, folks, for joining tonight on TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, MySpace, wherever we are. Appreciate it. All right, first question on rapid fire, Hayden. What is your favorite chord?
Chord, like instrument chord? Oh, just chord in general.
Yeah.
I like a big E major chord.
Okay, nice. Let's see. Did you get dinner with one historical figure, and it can be anybody, dead or alive? Who are you going to break bread with, and what are you eating?
Oh God, man, I've thought about this question when I was younger. I think I answered it in elementary school. I had an obsession with Billy the Kid when I was really young, and that was always my answer. And what am I eating? I don't know. Shoot, probably. Man, I'm kind of boring. I like just a really good steak would be nice, and some like a good dry red wine.
Sounds good. I'm hungry already. My feeding window closed at 6 o'clock, so I will have to dream about that.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it's the worst. Trust me. All right. Underloved song of yours. What's a song of yours that you're kind of in love with, or that you really like, that maybe you don't feel like hasn't gotten, maybe as much attention as you'd hoped?
I think what was the one that you thought was the win? That's a really, that song, it's one of my favorites on the record, and it's usually one of those things. It's the song that you probably like the least is one of the most popular, and the one that you think might do something or has potential just gets kind of lost in there. But The Wind is definitely one of them. I wrote that while I was on the road with Reckless Kelly, and man, that was one of my favorites, but didn't really move the needle as much as the others.
Well, I tried to sneak it in. Folks, you have homework other than going back and figuring out what shirt Soul Gravy's on.
I'll look if you'd like to know. We'll give it a minute.
What's that?
I looked back at the episode.
Oh, you know?
It is. Uh-huh.
Okay, well, feel free. Soul Gravy, what shirt were you wearing on the T-shirt?
Rob Linus.
Oh, shout out to Rob Linus.
Love that guy.
His face is like this big on my shirt. So I make sure I talk with his mouth.
That's
Well-
fitting for him. Rob's a character like that, man.
Uh-huh.
He's always doing silly shit like that. I love him to death. He's one of my good friends.
He's
Does
a
Rob
wild
still
man.
have the dog?
Mm-hmm.
He
Yeah, his
does.
dog's name is.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So we interviewed Rob in Memphis, and he found a puppy in the winter at a dumpster at his hotel, and it was at first he was gonna trying to find someone to adopt it, and then that was
Yeah.
the day before the show. The next day, that dog wasn't going anywhere. Like that dog
Rode
was
down.
she had suckered all the band guys, and her name is Memphis. Fitting.
Yeah. She was his before he wanted to admit it. That's for
No
sure.
doubt about it. She had him. Yep.
All right, Hayden, first concert you attended, first concert you paid your own cash money to go see.
First concert I remember actually attending was on accident, I think. Well, I guess not. I guess I saw Jay Cooker at the Ropin Fiesta in San Angelo. We've always, gone to that. But I think other than that, it was Pat Green at the Ruidoso Downs. And I was probably in fourth grade, I think. And first one I spent my own money going to was, I'm trying to think. I think it was actually some kind of, I spent allowance money, I guess, or not really. We didn't have allowance, but just money that I had saved up. It's called Red Letter Rock Fest, which was like a Christian concert thing, and I think Skillet was playing there, and it wasn't far.
I haven't heard Skillet in a while.
But yeah, I haven't thought about them, but just pulling into the archives of my brain right now.
Yeah, well, that's a good pull. Two more questions, and then I'm going to hand you off to Soul Gravy for the final question. Bucket list venue, one inside the state of Texas that you haven't played yet, and then a bucket list venue outside the state of Texas that you would like to play.
So I just as of this January, February this year, I'd hit, most of the major Texas ones finally, and I'd, Green Hall, Billy Bob's, Luke and Bar, trying to think, John T. Floors. I'd done, a lot of the major bucket list ones, and I did Moody Theater in Austin with Coulter, and I think Moody Center would be a really cool one. That's a far shot, but one that I'd always like to. Outside of Texas, I think the Troubadour in Los Angeles would be someplace really cool to me.
That's a great answer.
I love a lot of that, that 70s Southern California stuff, and Jackson Brown, Linda Ronstadt, J.D. Souther, the Eagles. That was a formative spot for them, and that's someplace that I've always wanted to play. Just never got the chance to yet.
That's a great answer. Have we had that before?
Yeah, I think so. A couple
Somebody's
times, but not near as many.
Yeah, usually it's Red Rocks.
I've been kind of going down that.
That's
Jackson
sure.
Brown.
That's one for sure. I think Troubadour would be one that it wouldn't be seem too unrealistic for me right now, and that's something that I'd like to make happen eventually.
Yeah. Great answer. Ideal green room. This is the last question. What does your ideal green room look like?
Ooh, with my own with a bathroom to yourself would be nice. That's really, I'm a pretty simple guy. Like even rider wise, just it was beer and sandwich meat and hot sauce and mustard and chips. I don't have to have anything crazy as long as it's got someplace comfy to maybe lay down or take a nap, and a bathroom of its own where you don't have your buddies or other people coming in there and doing their business, and you can't go in for another 30 minutes or something.
I understand. Just ask my friend. Oh, sorry. Just ask my friends from across the pond about that, but we'll leave that for another podcast.
Oh man, a pool table would be that's one of those kind of asshole requests. I would never request it, but if it's got a pool table, if I'm able to, ideal dream green room. I love playing pool. That's one of my favorite things to do. So it's got a pool table. I'd be pretty content.
All right, we'll keep our eyes peeled for that ideal green room for you. Bathroom and a pool table.
Yeah. Where do you keep the plunger? All right. So let's make sure you go follow Hayden on all of his socials and everything. Wherever you're streaming music, make sure you hit the follow button. Anything coming down the line or shows or anything that we need to make sure that folks know about?
Man, I'm working on some new music of my own right now outside of the Moon Howler stuff, and I'm hoping to get in by the fall of this year to start recording that and putting out a second album that, it's that first album that I put out, it's not like there was a bunch of crazy commercial success or success in general, but it is enough to get some on me to where, the follow up, there's pressure, a little bit of pressure. And I think that's a good thing, as far as writing goes, and trying to fire out of the gate on the second record with something that will keep people listening. And, the shows this summer, Dusty Vaquero Days, that's going to be a really, really good time. And Jake that puts that on, he's put a lot of work into this, and it's something he's talked about for a really long time. So getting to see him, make something that was a dream of his come to fruition, just really cool. And he does a great job as far as picking the lineup and stuff. It's a pretty sweet bill of folks.
Yeah, definitely. One thing I'm gonna pull an audible just a little bit. I don't know. I kind of like Hayden seems kind of a deep thinker, and I want to know. I mean, you've been on the road with some heavy hitters and things like that, and been in some places that in a relatively short time. That's extremely cool, and I'm happy for you. But when I say that you've made it, what does that mean to you? What is making it?
Man, I've pondered that too. I think just being able to live comfortably and on the songs that I wanted to write, like somewhere where I wouldn't have to stress about bills. It's not asking for, any kind of crazy mainstream success, but just enough to where I could, live comfortably and be able to go to sleep at night knowing that it made it on the songs that I wrote on my own and did them how I wanted to do them without any kind of influence or somebody trying to tell me how to do this or do that or do a dance or take the microphone out and make a speech. Just doing it my way and being able to make a comfortable living for it would be that for me.
That's a hell of an answer. Well, the next question is not near as as important. But we have to ask this. It started as a joke on episode 1, and now there's a requirement that we ask, Hayden. So, in the world, literally the world wants to know, what is your favorite Little Debbie snack?
The zebra cake.
Oh, go right out of the gate. All right.
Yeah.
Well done.
Zebra cake.
Yep, great answer. Seems to be popular. People love the zebra cakes. They also like the Christmas cakes when it comes seasonal.
Yeah, when it's time.
Yep. Well, Hayden, thanks so much for hanging out with us tonight. We appreciate it and you sharing everything. Folks, we will see you tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Look forward to it. Later.
See you later. Thanks for having me.
Right. Thank you, man. All right, we're going to get Chris back here shortly. Maybe. Of course, he freezed out right at the end.
Yeah.
Hang tight for just a second. He'll be right back.
Yeah, man. No sweat. I ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, we need him to hit the button before we can start to upload. So I think we're off of socials now. So.
Oh, good deal.
Maybe not. Yeah. We'll see here. Yeah, you did great, man. Thanks so much.
Oh, thank you guys, man. I appreciate y'all having me. That was fun. It's good. It's fun when the questions are good, man, and easy to answer.
Well,
that's what I've run into a lot on others. It's been a lot of fun. I had a blast.
Yeah, man. What's on our end, we've seen a few podcasts, and everybody's out there doing their own thing. We just, one of the deals is we want to try to ask questions that you probably don't get asked. Try to avoid the, hey,
Right.
how'd you find music question?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's fine. Like sometimes that's cool to hear, but it is.
Yeah, that's like, just answering the sense, beating a dead horse with a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, for
Well,
sure.
you get
And
people on that have done a bunch of podcasts. The answer's always the same.
yeah, and we want to make it. I mean, selfishly, we want to make it fun on our end and ask stuff that we want to ask that hopefully makes it worthwhile. But when we have you on with Patrick, so I think I told you I need to look at the date here real quick, but we've got you on with Patrick, Country versus Metal. That one's going to be a little different. It's more like the camera watching two guys have a conversation, so there's no set questions or anything. It's just kind of a hangout session. Yeah. So once we get about a week before that, I need to look at the date and see when we have you on here. Not till September, so we got plenty of time.
Yeah.
But when that one comes around, I'll do the same thing. I'll reach out to you about a week before and just we'll chat for a little bit. And we use the same. We use Riverside as well, so the same app.
Cool.
Just a different hot link, and so I don't know. Maybe we're gonna get Chris back. I
wonder if that storm knocked his ass out, man. That's usually what.
It might.
That's what I was worried about. That rain. We just ended up getting heat today, but we got a pretty good chance of storms tomorrow. But we need it. We need the rain.
Yeah, for sure. Well, let's do this, man. So if you hit the little camera button and the little sound button, then we won't be able to hear or see you. And then I'll just text you once you're all the way downloaded. But if you could just leave the app open for a little bit until Chris gets back, and then I'll just text you right when we get done.
Okay, perfect.
Cool, man. Thanks so much for joining. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
Take care.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What's up?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm all right.
I told him to just hit the two buttons, and then I'd text him once he was downloaded.
Okay. Well, we're still. Let me stop it. All right.